Okay, Chair calls Maggie Erickson. Welcome, Maggie.
Hello.
Have you ever testified before the legislature?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Say your name for the record.
Hello, my name is Margaret Erickson. I'm 11 years old. I'm from Houston, Texas, and thank you for having me here today.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you for coming.
It was my pleasure.
All right.
When I was 1 year old, I started getting this rash all over my body. My parents took me to a doctor and learned it was eczema. For the next 10 years, I battled eczema and allergies and spent many days visiting doctors and applying medication to my condition. Many kids suffer from eczema these days and have a normal life. My condition was an extreme case and changed my childhood 24 hours a day. This skin condition that started as a minor rash proved to be a major problem. This rash turned into major sores on my ankles, parts of my legs, and arms. For 10 years, I had open sores on my body. The parts of skin that were not sores were extremely dry. When you have open sores, you're more susceptible to MRSA, a bacterial infection more commonly known as MRSA. So not only did I take medications for eczema, I also took heavy antibiotics when it turned into MRSA. This rash was extremely itchy. I itched day and night nonstop. In the morning, my sheets would be a bloody mess, and dead skin and scabs would be all in my bed. I rarely got a good night's sleep. Because my skin was so dry and so many open sores, sweating was very painful. I didn't understand when I was little and used to scream to my mom that bugs were biting me. Sweating made me feel like I had little ants all over my body, each taking a little bite. My eczema was always there, but sometimes it was worse than others. The hot Houston heat was a trigger. When I was in school, they sent me to the nurse's office when the other kids went outside to play on the playground. Playing outside in the Houston heat would cause my feet to itch and then start bleeding. It also impacted my learning. I had a very difficult time learning how to read. Whenever I sat still, all I could do was itch. After kindergarten, my parents pulled me out of school and I homeschooled. When my skin would flare, we stopped school and would lather my scaly skin up with lotion. She put me in a zipped-up sleeping bag, and I watched a movie while my skin was rehydrating. I spent many hours zipped up in that sleeping bag. Our second year of homeschool, I learned how to knit. This was such a blessing because if I was listening to an audiobook and knitting, I wasn't thinking about itching. The next few years, I spent hours knitting and listening to audiobooks. I developed a keen sense of listening, and am an excellent knitter if I do say so myself. When I was little, the eczema was a very bad part of my life. But as I got older, it changed my life in many other ways. I could not wear shorts and sandals without strangers coming up to me and asking what had happened. I tried covering my legs up with itchy tights, but after a few hours they were bloody and didn't look nice at all. Last year we found a doctor with a different way to treat eczema. She said my body was very inflamed and allergic. One of the problems was food allergies. On this list was pasteurized milk. She said to stop all pasteurized dairy and only have good raw milk. I really needed raw dairy because this diet was very hard. I gave up most processed foods. I only ate raw dairy, good produce, good quality meats, and a small amount of gluten-free products. Like a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down, a spoonful of cream sauce helps the broccoli go down. My mom made the raw cheese from raw goat's milk, and that helps. The veggies went down a little easier with the cream sauce. But we can't buy any raw dairy in the city. Thankfully, we also have a house in the country and spend much time out there as well, and have access to licensed farmers selling raw dairy.
Where's that home in the country?
In Hockley, Texas.
Okay, good.
Next year we may be in the city full time, and because my sister is going to high school, and I'll probably have to do without raw dairy because the drive to the farm is really rough for a gallon of milk. After 3 months of my new diet, my condition was clearly better. Within 6 months, my eczema was almost gone. Still, there were patches of white skin. It looked like I was a burn victim. However, I can play outside, and I can wear socks and shoes without pain, and I can sleep much better at night. The scars on my arms are almost gone, but my feet are still white, and I think they'll heal in time too. So I'm here today to ask you to open up the markets for raw dairy. Please support House Bill 46. There are other kids like me who can't have pasteurized dairy. I'm asking you to open up the markets so our parents can spend time with us instead of hours in the car driving for a gallon of milk. Thank you. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Well, I would like to... Indeed. I would like to say that you may be the best witness that I've heard in three sessions of sharing public health. And so thank you. I mean, you were on the mark. You stayed within your time limit. You had a lot of animation. We love it. Thank you for your points. Representative King.
So you're 11 years old?
I'm about to turn 12.
So like in 10 years you can run for this office? Because you probably need to put that on your calendar. So this is the other question I have. Seriously, how long did it take you to write your testimony?
Well, my mom wrote it for me, but it was a very rough draft, and I made most of the major changes.
So she just gave you the bare bones, but you really made it pop, right?
Yes.
And how long have you been on your diet of raw dairy?
I think maybe a year, maybe almost a year.
Have you ever had sickness related to drinking the raw milk that was proven? In other words, we all get sick from time to time, but have you ever had like a problem that they could attribute to the fact that you were ill because of drinking the raw milk?
No, I have never had any illness because of raw milk.
Well, thank you so much for coming today.
I think you should forget the politics and go into acting. I'm hoping that the Hollywood Scouts are watching today because you have a great future. Thank you for being here. Members, other questions? Really appreciate you being here. Job well done.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Okay. That's what I like to say is, wow, I'm going home to talk to my children and see if they can do that. I don't know. We're going to practice. Next is Anna.